The 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix was supposed to be just another chapter in the ongoing Red Bull dominance. After all, Max Verstappen had been the cornerstone of that success for years. However, what unfolded on the track, and especially what happened afterward, might change the course of Formula One's most powerful partnership. Verstappen, fresh off a frustrating race that saw him finish sixth, dropped a bombshell that has the entire paddock talking. What started as a tough weekend might have triggered a clause in his contract that could see him leave Red Bull as early as this summer. That's right. Max Verstappen, the driver who turned Red Bull into the dominant force it is today, might be packing his bags. Let that sink in for a moment. The foundation of Red Bull's Formula One dominance over the last 5 years is suddenly under threat. The idea that Verstappen, a four-time world champion, could walk away from the team he's helped build into the powerhouse it is today is mind-blowing. What was supposed to be a regular race weekend ended up becoming one of the most significant moments of the season, potentially even reshaping the entire landscape of Formula One. So, what went wrong in Bahrain? What was said after the race? And what does this mean for Verstappen's future with Red Bull? The weekend in Bahrain started like any other for Red Bull, but things quickly unraveled for Verstappen. He started in 7th place, and despite his best efforts, he only managed to finish 6th. It wasn't just the result that bothered Verstappen. It was the series of errors that piled up, the lack of pace, and most critically, the car just not being in the right window. Verstappen, the driver who made the RB21 what it is, couldn't make it work. He wasn't just disappointed. He was frustrated, and it showed. His team radio message, "I can't even brake anymore, it's just ridiculous," made it clear that this was more than just a bad race. It was a cry for help. The issues began on lap 1 and snowballed from there. Verstappen's first pit stop was delayed due to a failure in Red Bull's traffic signal system, leaving him stuck in the pit box for what felt like an eternity. His second stop wasn't much better, with a 6.2-second delay caused by an issue with the front right tire. All these mistakes culminated in Verstappen finishing 34 seconds behind race winner Oscar Piastri. To make matters worse, the car's performance issues were still ongoing. Tire degradation, overheating brakes, and a lack of overall balance left Verstappen fighting not just his rivals but his own car. Now here's where things get interesting. Verstappen's candid remarks after the race revealed serious flaws in both the car's performance and Red Bull's operation. "Everything went wrong that could go wrong," Verstappen said. The car, which had been near perfect in the past, wasn't even close to where it needed to be. He noted, "The pace was very bad and I think the position where I finished was the best I could have done." Verstappen's admission that Red Bull had serious issues was the first major signal of trouble within the team. However, the biggest bombshell came shortly after the race, when Verstappen revealed a clause in his contract with Red Bull that allows him to leave if he drops outside the top 3 in the standings. This clause, activated by his underwhelming performance and the ongoing struggles of the RB21, means Verstappen could leave Red Bull by the summer break. And right now, he's only 6 points ahead of 4th place George Russell. If the performance issues continue, that gap could close quickly, potentially triggering Verstappen's departure. The shock waves from this revelation were felt immediately across the paddock. Verstappen, who has been the bedrock of Red Bull's dominance, could be looking to move elsewhere. So what does this mean for the future of both Verstappen and Red Bull? Well, for starters, it's clear that the relationship between Verstappen and Red Bull is beginning to show signs of strain. Behind closed doors, Red Bull's leadership, including team manager Christian Horner, technical director Pierre Wache, and advisor Helmut Marko, were seen in a tense meeting, trying to figure out what went wrong in Bahrain and how to fix it. Marko didn't mince words, stating, "It's a very difficult day for Red Bull. We have to get performance in the car again, and also standards like a pit stop have to work." Verstappen's frustration with the car was evident in his post-race comments as well. "We have our problems, and even if you win a race, that doesn't go away," he said. This statement highlights the long-term nature of Red Bull's issues. These aren't just isolated problems, but ongoing concerns that have yet to be addressed. For Verstappen, it's no longer just about having a competitive car. It's about fixing the deeper issues that are holding the team back. Now let's talk about the most crucial part, the contract clause. Verstappen's long-term contract with Red Bull is supposed to run until 2028, but it includes a get-out clause that allows him to leave if he falls out of the top 3 in the standings. If Verstappen drops below that threshold by the summer break, he could leave Red Bull with no questions asked. This clause makes the next few races absolutely critical for Red Bull. The team is under intense pressure to fix the issues with the RB21, and if they fail to deliver by Imola, Verstappen could exercise that clause and walk away. So, where does this leave us? With Verstappen now potentially on the market, teams like Mercedes and Aston Martin are surely paying close attention. Mercedes has openly praised Verstappen's talents, and team principal Toto Wolff has hinted that if Verstappen ever became available, they would be interested. Aston Martin too might be looking for a driver to help them push to the front. With